Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to anyone who's new to my channel. Today I will show you Ashley Tisdale's palette that is with BH Cosmetics. It's called Illuminate by Ashley Tisdale, and this is the Beach Goddess one. I know there's been really mixed reviews about this palette. I personally love the palette for the price. The shadows are pretty good quality, and the colors are phenomenal. Cannot talk today. So obviously this palette is all nudes. Like, it's a beautiful, as it's called, beach goddess vibe. So if you're wanting grays or super colorful shadows, obviously this palette is not for you, but if you want to see this look or my easier everyday look, stay tuned. Okay, so I've already done my makeup except for my eye makeup, my blush, and my highlight because I wanted to do that with the palette and show y'all. I originally wanted to do bronzer too, but then, you know, just got going. And before I knew it, I had put on bronzer without thinking about it, and it wasn't the one from this palette. But I will use the bronzer on my eyes because that is something I normally do daily, so you'll at least get to see a little bit of it. To get started, here is the palette right here. The packaging's kind of so-so. I will be honest, the packaging feels a little bit cheap. So if the packaging is cheaper feeling, but still great product, I'm okay with that. That's what you gotta do if you want to save some money. It's not that the packaging is exactly cheap, it just feels very light. It's cardboard packaging, it does magnetize, it's cute, it's whatever. So when you open it up, it does have a mirror up top. So you get 9 eyeshadow shades, all these smaller ones. You get a matte bronzer, a more shimmery blush, and a highlight. The highlight's very golden. I'll go ahead and show y'all some swatches now. These are the 9 eyeshadows. You get a mixture of shimmers and mattes. Also sometimes like to just use this color right here, which is St. Bart's. Just all over my lid and under eye, and nothing else if I am really running late that day. And then here are the swatches of the bronzer, highlight, and blush. You can see the bronzer is really matte. It really reminds me of a Too Faced bronzer or Buck from the Naked palettes. So now let's jump in and try some of these things. First, I'll try out the highlight. So it's St. Lucia. It's very golden-y. It's kind of dark, so I want to say that if you're really fair tone, that it might not work for you. So I'm just gonna put a little bit right here. Hit those cheekbones. Tip of the nose is like my favorite. And down the nose. Cupid's bow. And then I like to hit a little bit on my forehead, just right above my eyebrows. So as you can see, this highlight is pretty intense in my opinion. Very golden-y, but it's a beautiful color. So right now, what I normally like to do, you can definitely just leave it like this, but to me it looks a little bit like it needs to be blended in. And I do this with all highlights that I use. I'll take a face mist, so this is the NYX Dewy Finish Long Lasting Setting Spray, and then a damp beauty blender. This isn't like completely damp. I used it earlier applying my concealer, and then I'm just using whatever's still in here. And so spray down your face. And then take the beauty blender and kind of pat it in everywhere that you put that highlight. You can also pat it places you didn't and help melt in your makeup a little more. I do this every day, and I think it just changes everything. I especially like to do that little trick after I do my highlight to make my highlight kind of blend in more and look more like a natural glow, if you can tell a difference. It looks a little bit more of a natural glow than like in your face, bam, highlight. But that's up to you, whatever is your preference. But hopefully you can see the highlight now. I think it's beautiful. Next I'm gonna try out the blush right here, which is Bermuda. It has a little bit, I would say, of a sheen to it. It really reminds me of, Milani blush. I'll put it right down here. I don't remember the name of it, but that color. I'm just gonna put a little bit of that on my cheeks. I think this is a really pretty blush that would look good on everyone. It has just enough sheen to it. It's like not glittery, but will continue to give you that glow. It's not matte, which I prefer. I'm gonna show y'all two eye looks. One is my everyday go-to simple eyeshadow look, and then I'm gonna show you how to take that eyeshadow look to a more dramatic nighttime look. I'm not gonna use a primer today, but feel free to do so. So first I'm gonna start off with the bronzer shade right here, and I'm just gonna take it on a fluffy blending brush. These shadows come off really easily onto the brush, so be sure to like blow off the brush or whatever beforehand. So I'm just gonna apply this right into the crease. As you can see, so I'm taking, this is like a tapered brush, so I'm gonna take it and kind of point it downwards so that I have the very tip of it in my crease, and then the rest of it is just going right above the crease, so it's not really getting much on the lid. When doing this, you need to be really careful about what size brush you have to make sure that you have one that's not too big for your eye. Okay. So you can see I'm taking this pretty far in, but focusing on the outer corner and then just coming in a little bit, almost all the way in, I would say. Really focus it on the outer corner. Okay, next I'm going to take some of that highlight shade onto just a denser eyeshadow brush and put that right on the lid. And then while I'm here, I'm also going to take it into the inner corner and a little bit on the lower lash line. So I'm just going to take that right there and bring it in to like the center of my eye. To blend it all out and to give that brow bone a little bit more of a highlight, I like to use Tahiti, which is this matte shade right here. This I feel like is the perfect brow bone highlight if you like a matte brow bone highlight. And so I'm just gonna take it on the same brush. You can see this is like a flat brush more, so I'm gonna turn it sideways and start on the outer, like where the arch would be. I don't have much of an arch, but where the arch would be, bring it out and then bring it in a little. You can see that just kind of, it highlights a little bit, it makes it look cleaner, but also I like to do that to really blend out that darker shade to make sure you don't have any harsh lines. And then I always like to just take my fingers and rub like that to make sure that it blends in with my makeup around. And then just to finish up the bottom lash line, I'm going to take that same bronzer shade. I have a smudger brush from IT Cosmetics. It's like a double-ended one. I love this side of the brush for my lower lash line. I'm just going to do that in the outer lash line. I'm just going to do that on the outer edge. bring it up to meet the shade up here as well. So normally I would go ahead and do eyeliner at this point, and mascara of course, and be done. I can literally, that look is so simple and easy. It's only 3 shades. I can literally do it in probably 3 minutes for both eyes. So that's why I love it, it's just because it's quick and easy. But now, instead of going ahead and putting my liner and mascara on, I'm gonna show y'all another option for how to take it to a darker night look, or you can just start off doing this darker, more dramatic look if that's what you prefer. I'm gonna try and darken up the crease a little bit, so I'm gonna use Aruba, which is this matte brown shade right here. It's just a little bit deeper than the bronzer shade, and you can use this one from the beginning if you're going for this darker look. You don't have to put in the bronzer shade, but it also does add a little bit more dimension. So I'm pretty much gonna focus, I'm gonna do this one almost the same way I did the bronzer shade, but really focusing it on the outer edges. I'm not gonna come in as far. I'm only gonna come to about here with it, so about my pupil. So you can already see we're getting a little bit darker, a little more dramatic. I am going to go in with that smudger brush that I used on my lower lash line, and I'm gonna use Barbados, which is this really dark brown shade right here. It's again matte. But I'm gonna really limit this just right into the crease, not really blending it out as high. So you can see as I'm blending this just into the crease, and I will bring this in pretty far. This is just gonna help give a bit more dimension, a bit more drama. For the lid, you can definitely keep it the St. Lucia highlight color. You can add more to make it pop. I am gonna go in with this color here, this color right here, which is Maui, and I'm just gonna tap that right over where I had St. Lucia. I want to go and blend, I feel like this bronzer color on camera is picking up a lot more orange than it is, so I'm gonna try and just blend that out a little bit more. My blending brush again. I'm gonna kind of wipe it off with my hand as much as possible, and then just go in a few times, like windshield wiper motions, to make sure that's all kind of blended. So then for the lower lash line, I'm just gonna take a little bit more of the highlight shade to put right here in my inner corner. For the outer corner, I'm gonna go pretty dark, and I'm gonna use Barbados, so that very dark brown shade. Really focusing it on the outer corner first. And then I'm personally gonna go ahead and use the same Tahiti shade right here for my brow bone highlight. If you're a darker tone, you can definitely use Cabo, which is a little bit more yellow. So now that I'm done with that eyeshadow look, I'm gonna go ahead and apply some eyeliner. So this is the finished eye look right here. Kind of had a little trouble with my eyeliner on this eye today. Sometimes you just have one of those days. But in case you're wondering what eyeliner I did use, I used the Sonia Kashuk, what is this called? Liquid Line Precision Marker in black on my top lash line. And then on my bottom lash line, I used the Wet n Wild, what is this even called? I don't know what this is called, it's all rubbed off, but it's like the Wet n Wild pencil liner, though it's normally like really long when you first get it. And this is just in a dark brown. And then I applied some mascara, and this is what you get. And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe because it really means a lot to me. And that's all I got.